Hi, everyone. My name is Madeline Friend, and I'm a Vice President of Customer Success at Centrical. With me today are two customers from Morgan & Morgan who won the 2025 Centrical Select Award in the category of the Scholar. This award celebrates an organization that has implemented a hyper-engaging learning solution and fostered a culture of continuous development. Their commitment to employee upskilling significantly impacts time to proficiency and equips employees to be agile and successful as they grow in their careers. Today, we're going to talk about what's so special about their program and why they earned this reward. Before we get started, I'd like the customers to share a little bit about your company, your role in the area of the business that is implemented Centrical. Chris, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, so I'm Chris. I'm the gamification and engagement lead here at Morgan & Morgan. I basically run the day-to-day, coming up with the ideas and the missions and campaigns that we can really drive forth not only engagement, but the learning here at Morgan & Morgan. Our company, if you haven't heard of us, it's America's largest injury law firm, and we specifically work for the call center of Morgan & Morgan. So really trying to drive that impact for the people that are at the front lines, taking the calls and making sure those people can get the justice they deserve.
Fantastic.
And my name is Danielle. I'm the implementation manager here. I've been here for about 5 years, and my role is I help to scope out products that the call center uses to help make the day-to-day operations easier for the intake agents. And so I was part of the team that helped actually pick Centrical for the call center. So it's pretty exciting that we won this award.
Thank you, and congratulations. You guys just started with us this past year and are already having a huge impact. So this is really an exciting time to be giving you this award and to recognize all of the work that you've put into making your platform a success so quickly.
Thank you.
So let's get started. What brought Morgan & Morgan to Centrical? What was the pain point and the problem that you were trying to solve?
So a couple different areas there. One of the big ones was that we were having issues with understanding completion of learnings. So we had a previous gamification platform that was more so just like social media, and it wasn't really driving what we wanted it to. We also have, MailChimp and things like that, where we would send out emails with trainings, and we could see the completion of opening the email, but not the completion of the training itself. And so what we would have to do is wait a week or two for whoever's looking at those trainings to say, hey, these people haven't done it yet, or these people only got halfway through or didn't submit. And so we're looking for something that would allow us to, in real time, understand who is completing missions, what their success rate is, how they're actually answering those questions, and also engage them in a way that kind of makes it fun.
Got it. Let's talk a little bit more about how you went about your selection process. Danielle, you said you were heavily involved in this. So what drew you to Centrical?
So as he mentioned earlier, we did have another product for employee engagement that we used. It was more like a social media feed, and it didn't really give us anything that we could work on towards improvement for our agents. We also had another platform where it was a performance management tool, and it was very bare bones and engagement was very low. So after we had our experience with these two products, we sat down with all of our stakeholders and we identified the areas of opportunity that we saw in those products. And we scoped out a lot of different products, and we met with Tom, and he won our hearts immediately. And with everything that Centrical has to offer, with bringing in multiple different data points, bringing it into one area that is convenient for our agents and our team leads to review, engage with, and to act on, it was the number one choice for us.
Excellent. That's good to hear. So let's dig a little bit deeper into how you approached implementing Centrical and used it to help solve your challenges. So as a winner of the Scholar Award, describe in a few words the strategy that you employed to tackle what you were trying to solve within the call centers.
Maybe a few more than a few words, but
Okay.
The idea for us was very much to look at how to section off areas of knowledge that we wanted to pinpoint and understand. So here at Morgan & Morgan, we actually have 3 different departments that can create campaigns and missions. But our approach was to look at our continuing knowledge that we have, the stuff that is updated daily, our training department, and then our engagement side of things, along with surveys and things to kind of look at how we're doing in those areas. And so we sectioned off each one of those and created different areas that would allow us to see the success and change on a dime to update the information as well.
Got it. Talk a little bit about some of the tactics that you've employed when rolling out microlearning within Centrical, and how you've approached that and how you've been able to get innovative with that.
So whenever it comes to tactics, I would say we've looked at quite a few different areas. So with knowledge, for sure, our big one is like our knowledge base. Whenever it comes to updated knowledge, we have a weekly occurring mission now that every agent gets, and it says, so, hey, we're no longer taking cases in this area, or when this injury is selected, you need to actually do this as well. And there's a little quiz afterwards that checks all of that. And then we're looking at a report on the back end weekly that gets sent to each team lead and says, hey, here's everybody that answered it. Here's their success rate. Go in and see where these areas of opportunity are, and let's look at the training for these. Look at the information. Did we say it in a way that wasn't really clear for the agent, or is it something that maybe we need to add additional trainings towards? And we're building on each of those as we go through.
Got it. So you're able to create innovative training and learning, examine it on a weekly basis, and then optimize it based on success rate, feedback from both the team leads and the agents themselves.
Yes.
Got it. Fantastic. Can you talk a little bit about how you rolled this strategy out? So as we talked about earlier, this is your first year using Centrical. So how did you go about managing change within the organization?
We got a lot of different departments involved. With our stakeholders, we got our director of learning and development. He has a coordinator there that she does all the campaigns for Centrical. Like, she is our point of contact. They use it for the initial onboarding for our agents. We have our department manager of knowledge base. She does all that. So it really kind of does like take a village to employ all these tactics. So it's not just like one person that's doing it. We just have all of these like specialized individuals that are working on this. And I know, for example, when something comes into like our learning and development, that same request also goes to our knowledge base. So that way everybody is always like on the same page about what we are like working towards.
We also came up with monthly syncs where we get all of these people in a room together and we say, hey, so we have this training that's coming out and we need to make sure that the knowledge base portion of it that's continuous is going to be in line with that training. And how do we partner with these specialty teams to figure out where does this need to be housed? What campaign does it need to go under? What is the cadence of these missions? And we go through all of those, set up all the meetings in that monthly sync to just ensure that it's going to come out in a pace that makes sense for not only us, but for the agents as well.
Got it. We also have several Slack channels too. For everything in between.
Constant communication. That's fantastic. How did the team react to these changes? So once you rolled this out, what was the feedback and the reaction overall?
So to be honest, it was some people very hesitant. Some people were all about it. I think learning as we went that there needed to be, specialization for certain groups. Like I said, we have plenty of specialty teams here that feel resistant to those changes because they're so highly specified in an area. They're like, oh, I don't need to take the regular missions. I already know all that stuff. And when we started to tweak the information in a way that made sense for them to go in, but also incentivize it in a way to be like, hey, yeah, you may know it, but it's great for a reminder. And as you go through those missions, you're going to get some points and you might be able to get some coins and, incentivize them in a way that made sense for them. I feel like that was our biggest rollout hiccup, was not understanding that exactly from the beginning, but we were able to pick it up very quickly and understand how to do that for each area.
Got it. And has that won them over? Have they come around?
Yeah, I mean, one of our biggest accomplishments, in my opinion, so like I mentioned MailChimp earlier, with just the emails for people just opening them, our completion or open percentage was about 70% beforehand, which was pretty significant for us. Our mission completion rate alone is 85 to 90% month over month. So just looking at the people that were opening things versus people that are now completing it, I feel like we've really hit our sweet spot.
That's fantastic. I mean, that is a huge number because that has been from day one, and you've either sustained or improved that over several months. And this is without KPIs. So tell us a little bit more about, we're going to get back to the KPIs because that's my favorite subject there. But what features or parts of the Centrical platform did you and your team find most interesting and helpful? What are you using and leveraging the most?
I think there's definitely multiple areas. One of the ones that I really latched onto were the evaluation forms.
Okay.
I was very interested in how we could utilize those for not only QA, but for one-on-ones, and we're potentially going to roll out things for like records of conversation and so on and so forth. But just a place that houses these things. It was another pain point for us before where an agent would move to a different team lead and the team lead would be like, well, I think I've had it in this OneNote over here. And all of this traveling with the agent is so beneficial for not only the agent, but for the team lead that they're moving to. Another key area I think that we're utilizing currently is the Kudo system. We had a previous gamification platform where it was basically only kudos and social media. And now with the way that we're putting in these new templates, we see the managers day in and day out sending these to people. We see the agents crossing teams that they didn't usually do before. In our previous one, it was very much like, hey, here are my 5 kudos, give me your 5 kudos, and we'll call it a day. But it's spread all across the board now, which is really
It's
nice.
more intentional.
Yeah.
I would say also that with the team lead visibility, they can see which agents haven't completed something. So every day in the team's chats, they do like a little like, good morning, this is our day. And they'll see like, hey, Danielle, I see that you have 2 incomplete missions on Centrical. Go ahead and, take this time to do it. Every week, we have about 30 minutes for the agents to review incomplete missions in Centrical, as well as review anything else that they need to from their team lead. But with that team lead visibility saying like, hey, you need to complete this training or this engagement thing, go ahead and make sure that you take that time that is allotted to you to do that.
That's fantastic. Now, do you have any stories about hard to win over agents or team leads where they were skeptical and they came back to you and they said, wow, this was a moment for me?
I will say we have one specialty team that was, like I mentioned earlier, was like, oh, we're too specialized. We're never in that kind of stuff. And it was actually the evaluation form that won them over, because I went over to them and I was talking to them about how I could create a specialized form just for their QA. And when I was going through that with them, they realized that with it traveling, because they switch agents quite often, that it was going to make their lives a lot easier. And from there, we had them partner with Knowledge Base, and they created a full campaign with just check-ins that they have. One of the randomized quizzes go out to them every week, and they're using that in a way that no other team here is. And I probably get Slack messages from them once a week where they're like, hey, can we do this real quick? And I'm like, yeah, I can put it on the docket. I could definitely do that.
That's great. And you're able to say, yes, you can do that. The platform's able to handle this.
Yes.
That's fantastic. That is great. Anything spring to mind for you, Danielle, where you're like, you've made someone's day or you've turned them into a convert?
I will say that like one thing that stuck out to me was for a team that thinks that they know it all, or they know a lot of things. When we started doing these random knowledge checks, when we started tying points to it, they would, I wouldn't say like fight with us, but they would really kind of plead their point, like, I'm right because of this. So we were able to identify like little like gaps of knowledge there. It's like, wait a second, you know, like you are a specialty team that's here to like help support our agents, but like for this something here, you know, maybe you don't know it quite as much as you thought you did. So we don't really see that quite as often anymore with like, hey, I should be getting the points for this, because I think they're doing their due diligence to make sure they are getting those points.
That's true.
Because we do tie points to the knowledge checks.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. So, in terms of measuring success, there are definitely stages to how you're implementing Centrical, but initial success. What were you talked about the comparison to MailChimp. Is that something that you were aiming for? Like, was there a number you had in mind in terms of engagement that, okay, if we hit this, we're going to be successful?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was the 85% for me that where I was like, I mean, we could call it a day if we hit 85, but we were able to do it so fast that, I mean, we're reaching for new higher goals. I'm hoping by, I don't want to say end of year, but by probably end of first quarter next year, I'm hoping to have 95% completion on these, especially with the engaged users. There are definitely some people in super specialized areas that never look at it because that happens, you know. Our IT guys
Yeah.
don't go in there to do auto accident flows, but looking at that and specializing with those people as well and seeing what I can do to get them in there.
Okay. Let's talk about some of the new things that you're starting to do and that are on the horizon. So everything we've talked about so far is related to, you know, the way you've implemented a learning strategy and have really gotten people engaged from day one. Fantastic. You have earned this award. The award that you should be going for next year is the performer, because you implemented KPIs a little bit later and you have them in there right now. So let's talk about what else you're using the platform for and what are the new goals that you're hoping to hit besides engagement in the coming months and year.
Of course. So with KPIs, it's definitely going to be driving those up, right? So looking at where our conversion is, our KPIs are a little bit different than most people. I understand that, but you know, CSAT, adherence, just attendance in general, we're looking to see what we can do to incentivize all of those areas in a way that will not only drive it up, but hold people accountable in a way that maybe they previously weren't. One of the bigger things that I'm looking at outside of KPIs is I'm looking for career paths. One of the big things that I want to do with the platform next year is to create self-selected campaigns where they can go in and basically say, hey, I'm interested in this specialty group. I'm looking at the under review team. Well, they would self-select that campaign. They would go through missions. Whenever they complete that, we would get a notification and they can then shadow and see if they're actually interested in the position. We're going to do day in the life videos with all of the specialty teams so that they could get an inside information on what is it that they do and really see what we can do to push those. And we might tie them into KPIs. Hey, if you're at a certain level, then you can get this campaign. We might make it manager assigned, but you know, hey, you hit this level, you're eligible to actually look at this now. And we're looking at how we can tie everything together to just keep pushing to make just our business better.
I love that.
And then not only that, but last month maybe September, we actually just opened our Las Vegas location as well.
Oh yeah.
So for the most part, we are here in Orlando, Florida, but we also opened up another brick and mortar in Las Vegas. So we're hoping to see if maybe we can do like foster friendly competition and challenges with our Vegas counterparts.
That's fantastic. And did you use Centrical to bring the Las Vegas people up to speed in terms of their job proficiency?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they get the same missions that everyone does here, but they emphasized it very heavily in their training whenever they opened up the brick and mortar.
Okay, like some good healthy competition. That's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the Agent of the Month initiative that you are using right now?
Yeah, so I actually spoke with Miguel and Laurent this morning about getting it in there.
Okay.
So The idea is to turn Age of the Month nominations and winners into a KPI of sorts. So the team leads will go into a forms that they will fill out, and we're going to port that Excel into Centrical each month, and the person that is nominated will get shown on the leaderboard, and then whoever wins will pop up to the top whenever a week later that they're selected. They're going to get badges for doing so. They're going to get coins for doing so and notifications. And we are thinking about doing a highlight. I might do a snip mission where everyone has to go in and say, hey, look at all the people that actually, they were nominated. They killed it. They did a fantastic job. But it's still a little bit of a work in progress, but it's one that I'm passionate about. I'm trying to make it, I don't want to say perfect, but perfect.
Perfect is a good goal. We like that. We like that. Chris, talk to me a little bit more about how you're approaching career mobility. Like, how were you inspired to use Centrical, and what are you doing with that right now?
Yeah. So I actually got the idea from PowerUp. Whenever I was going through and learning about Centrical, I thought that the idea of being able to self-select into a campaign was very interesting. And I took that idea and this passion of mine of career pathing, of where, you can go into a new position anywhere and you might not know what all of these specialty teams or special jobs are at a location. This is something that PowerUp did perfectly for me, and that like you can look at a campaign and just say, oh, I'm interested. Say IST is one of our specialty teams here. What is IST? You click into the campaign, you self-assign into it. The first mission tells you what it's about, and if you're not about it, you could click out. But if it's something you're still interested in, then progress the missions in a way that are locked so that, hey, you have to go through this before you can see what the video is of a day in the life, and before you can go through, and then at the end you get a little bit of knowledge into it. That way, when you do shadow that position, it's not what all the shadowing is, which is half of the first bit of shadowing is what do you do every day. And if we could sit there and get all of that out of the way, you can actually work side by side with this person to understand truly what it is that they do, and understand if it's something that's right for you and if it's something that you really want to drive for. And again, PowerUp did exactly that for me. As I was going through, I was like, oh, I want to know more about KPIs, and I added myself in there. I had a little bit of help with, Miguel and Laurent and all them, and I was like, how do I get? And they were like, oh, this campaign, this is the one to go to, and I added in. But if we could build that out in a way that introduces them, and they could go through and decide where they want to go, I think that's going to help a lot.
That's fantastic. And for those of you who don't know, PowerUp is our self-guided learning platform that helps our customers get the most out of Centrical. It has tutorials on articles and suggestions on different paths that you can take to use the platform more effectively. I love that. So you are just getting started on career mobility right now, and so there's more to come on that front as well.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. Great. Again, so many congratulations. You guys really hit the ground running. We always say you get out of the platform what you've put into it, and you have put an awful lot into it. And as a result, you have won this award. So kudos to you for that. I love that you focused on learning and got such great engagement from the beginning. Implementing KPIs and seeing how performance upticks is something that we're excited to see. And this career mobility initiative is huge. That is something that all organizations are focusing on right now as the workforce changes and the tools available to you and also the career paths that you want to create for your employees become more and more important. So we look forward to partnering with you on that as well. So thank you for sharing your journey and your experience with us. Congratulations. And you've been so inspiring. Can't wait to see what comes next.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for meeting with us.
Absolutely.